cookies, frog legs, and imitation duck with a little sprinkling of espionage this week on The Hapless Heroes.
Money cookies, money cookies, money cookies.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I continue to be your host and DM on this mythical, magical adventure.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Bruh.
You don't have to be here.
Wait, I thought unfortunately is like inflammable.
No, that's not how that works.
that
Not how that works.
Anyways, speaking of things being flammable, all of my fellow cast members I'm about to introduce are very flammable, and the most flammable of them all, starting on my left, is Zero, Valen's Avatar of War, played by Dave.
I represent that remark.
We have Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Flammable or just plain flaming?
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Oh god, these cookies are good.
Zach as Pregnart.
Quack, quack, kukuriki, quack, 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 pukara.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Oh, I better check in on Dedrick.
And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Just standing outside by myself now.
Yeah, so when we last left off, our party was in many different places. We have Quinn and Hedrick invisible, scoping out and trying to infiltrate the mansion of the one and only Ebenezer Blackwood. We have Boris and Jarrell posing as a father-daughter duo selling Girl Guide cookies. And we have Zero, Pregnart, and Hedrick's illusory double from his mislead spell doing strange things in the streets. So before we get back to the exploring of the Ebenezer house, in which Boris is currently using the facilities of and Jarrell is patiently waiting outside, Zero and Pregnart. I recall, Zero, you have Dedrick, as we are aptly naming Hedrick's illusory double, slung under your arm while he is kind of just doing the cartoonish wave thing, and Pregnart is the companion in the form of a service animal that looks like a frog but is quacking like a duck.
And making other noises, apparently.
Mike, do I have this right? Right? That's the scene where we are walking back into right now?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay. While the foot traffic here, I remember explaining, is less than was in the more commercial area, and there are still people milling about or moving around or walking from place to place, and you do get a few heads turning in your direction as, again, I'm just gonna repeat for our audience, right? You have a little frog person who is hopping around with a leash on and is quacking like a duck. A very tall,
Quack, quack, quack.
mechanical being with a person slung underneath their arm.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is-
obviously...
That's what I was going for, and I'm looking to find, I'm sure there's if not a gazebo, the sort of place a gazebo might naturally occur. That sort of parkish, town square-y kind of area where people occasionally congregate and people take their dogs to run around and throw frisbees with, and, the usual outdoor social stuff.
I did mention a couple blocks away there was a park that would have such features that you describe.
Yes. So I am going to continue walking with Dedrick under my arm to there. Now, I don't really have the kind of articulation in my face that would allow for proper mean mugging, so I'll just have to poker face my way through this. But I am going to stride confidently to that park as though this is the most normal thing that has ever happened.
As you're walking to the park, there are a few people who, do call out to you, just being like, "Is that gentleman okay?"
Farfally boogar. Quack, quack, quack.
Now, is Dedrick still waving?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
He's doing the same thing that he was doing when he picked up. Hedrick has not had time to switch back yet, so he's continuing his big smile.
Autonomous actions, yeah.
Great big smile, and not like a broad wave, but a constant.
Mm-hmm. Do
Now-
you respond to the "Is that man okay?"
No,
because right
I
now you are
fully-
the only adult.
I fully intend to pay them no mind until I reach the park, in which point I intend to set Dedrick on his feet under a tree.
You do that.
Yes. And I'm sure Dedrick is going to keep doing what he's doing, and I'm going to stand maybe about, 5 feet away or so, just off to the right and back a little ways, and cross my arms across my chest, and just sort of stand there in the way, a bodyguard might stand, menacingly with their client.
I'm giving him a foot massage. I've taken his shoes off. I'm rubbing them dogs. That's emotional support for you right there. I'll tell you what.
Oh my goodness! Can you even remove the shoes of an illusion?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
It's quite the elaborate illusion.
See, the interesting thing is I can interact with things as the
Yeah, so
illusory double.
obviously
So I would
the
think
illusory double can be interacted with. It's just a matter of...
he knows it's an illusion. He doesn't need to pass a save or anything. He knows it's not real, but he can still take a not real shoe off of a not real foot.
Yeah, the illusion is working with me. We have.
I'm okay with that, and you've sufficiently convinced me that this is a appropriate course of action. So
I'm an emotional support frog duck, whatever cryptid, something, and
yeah.
and I'm doing what's needed.
Okay. Well, so far you guys have managed to garner some attention, but definitely not enough to warrant any significant suspicion. We'll just put it that way. So we're going to cut back to the mansion. Boris, you are currently inside the restroom. The woman who had greeted you at the door, that had looked a little sad or distracted, is waiting outside for you, like to then take you back to your dad, air quotes. The door to the front is slightly ajar. The front of the house is otherwise unoccupied, and in the rear of the house, I remember saying there was a maintenance person, like a gardener or someone of that ilk, just doing some general lawn and landscaping maintenance in the back.
Jarrell will open the door and step inside and leave the door open.
Okay, you can see the lady of the house literally across, all the way down the foyer from you.
Yep. Jarrell will immediately say, sorry to intrude, just, strangers' houses and whatnot. She is my sunshine. And then he'll kind of step off to the left of the door.
You can see that as you say that she is my sunshine, the woman kind of gives you a sort of a nod of understanding, and a single tear is shed from her eye.
Jarrell says, apologize if I said something to upset you. I understand if...
No, like I said, it's been a long couple days.
This town has been very nice to us so far. Is there anything I could do to help?
No, it's a family matter, but I do appreciate your kindness.
Jarrell kind of nods and just kind of stands at the door.
Okay. The door is still
still open.
wide open. It's wide open.
Quinn has stepped through the door.
Okay. You're in the foyer. Hedrick?
So is Hedrick.
Okay. You do kind of bump into Quinn a little bit, so you can kind of feel where he's at now for just a brief moment as you enter the doors to the home. Again, like I said, you are standing in this massive foyer, red carpeted sort of entryway, and then the rest of it is just these beautiful marble tiles and these columns that support this like sort of balcony that looks down into the foyer that you can see there's the second floor is at. And then you have to your left, immediately to your left, an opening, and I remember saying there were doors, and I apologize because I wasn't reading my map properly. They're not doors; they're just like there's two hallways towards the end of the foyer. It kind of rounds out, right? But then before that, there's two hallways that go left and right. But before that, there's also those staircases that go up, and then before the staircase to your left, it opens up into a dining area, and to your right, it actually opens up into like a common room. You can see there's a bearskin rug, a fireplace, some like a nice hardwood floor, some like area rugs that sit underneath some table, like coffee tables and chairs and other seating devices. And there are some bookshelves in here as well. That's what you can see kind of just immediately as you enter the foyer.
No one else in the house.
You could, at least from here, the only person you can see right now is the woman.
Quinn's gonna make his way up the stairs.
Okay. So there's a staircase on the left and right. I mean, they both go up to the same.
Yeah,
landing.
whichever one I'm the closest to.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Or is it like kind of like they're curving toward the front door?
Yeah, they kind of curve toward the front door.
Okay.
So like you just.
So
they both go up. They both go up to the same landing.
Sure. And so I'm just gonna like kind of place myself. I'm left of Hedrick, and since I know Hedrick's to my right, I'm just gonna drift off to the left staircase so that I don't bump into him.
Nice. So, you go up the stairs. Hedrick, what do you do? I want to get quick actions here, just quick, like just general like placement before we go back, because Boris is going to eventually have to leave that room.
Hedrick is curious about the floor that he's on. He wants to try to maybe move to the dining room or the common room. Probably the common room is the side that I'm on.
Sure. So you go to the right, and you're in the common room there. I'll describe these areas a little bit more in detail in just a moment. But Boris, it's been long enough that it's probably about that time for you to leave without drawing any suspicion or any further inquiry. What do you do?
Yeah. So just before, while I was in the bathroom for those couple of minutes, I had heard the moaning from the vent.
Yes.
So
you did
Boris
hear
would have like stuck her
moaning.
ear up against the vent to like listen a little harder. Is that all that she heard was?
If you're now actively listening a little harder, so make me another perception check, please. We'll get a fresh one here.
Oh, that's a little bit better. 24.
I think it was about the same you got last time, actually.
Higher.
Oh, one higher. That was what it was. Okay. I mean, you can faintly make out it's like almost someone like is like talking. You can't tell if they're talking to someone else, or you can only really make out one voice, and you can barely make out what they're saying. They sound distraught or just upset.
Okay. Is it the same voice that was moaning, or is that the moaning that I was hearing? I wasn't.
It
hearing.
might have been the moaning. This is probably what that sound is. You can just
okay. So it wasn't
hear.
Specifically like a pained moaning or anything that I was hearing.
No, not now that you're actually like listening closer, sticking your ear to it, and giving it a second. Like it doesn't seem like it's like pain. I mean, unless you're talking about maybe emotional pain.
Yeah, no, not the kind of pain I was thinking of when you said moaning. So Boris is gonna, I guess, flush the toilet if such a system exists in this house.
I said there was running water. They have running water and plumbing in this city.
So like,
it's a very well developed
flushes
city.
the toilet, washes her hands. Is there anything? Does the medicine cabinet like open, or the cabinet?
This is more of a public,
just like a guest bathroom,
like a half bath, right? So like,
yeah, nothing nice in there. So Boris doesn't steal anything. She just leaves the bathroom.
Okay. And, the woman is still standing there. She's like, your father's right here. He's waiting for you. Again, I'm sorry, couldn't support, your troop. It sounds like, you're doing a wonderful thing here, but we just, it's like I said, it's just not a good time.
It's quite all right.
She walks you to the door.
Darling, would you like to give the lady some cookies just for letting her use your
no,
restroom?
It's not necessary, please. Like, it's not necessary. It was my pleasure. Like, I can't just let you. I couldn't just let her stand there like that. And you see a slight
Boris-
smile kind of cross her face as she
Boris looks up
Boris.
at the lady, and like she sees the smile, but she also notices that there was like a tear going on 10 seconds
Mhm.
before. So she gives her like I don't know how tall Boris is in comparison to this lady, like a hug around the waist.
Sure.
And then hands her a box of cookies and says, "You look like you need these."
She just like kind of like holds it. Just, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And she like walks you out of the house.
Right.
And shuts the door.
Yep.
And locks it.
Great.
Good luck, boys.
Okay.
Do I hear the lock
Um,
from upstairs? Do I hear like the clicking of the lock?
Yes, because you're still on the landing, and again, it's open in here, right? So
Mhm.
it would be pretty obvious. As the door is closed, Hedrick, you see that the woman actually comes right here into this common room. There is, so if you look at the common room, if you walk in immediately to your right, there is like hanging on the wall like what appears to be like a taxidermy, like a mounted like head of like an elk, which is kind of strange, for like this kind of region, but there's something off about it too, but you can't really tell. It just doesn't it definitely looks like like a creature like that, but it just seems something that seems a little different about it. You can't really quite make it out what it is. You have three different seating areas. One in the center of the room that's facing the fireplace. There's a couple chairs there, an end table, and on that end table there actually is what appears to be a cup of tea. And the woman goes and sits down and actually picks up that tea again. You can just kind of see her kind of put her head into her hands, and she just kind of like sips it a bit, but like doesn't really do much else for right now. She just seems to be kind of lost in thought. To the left, if you're facing the fireplace, there's a series of bookshelves in a seating area there. And then to your right is another just like smaller seating area with like a longer like coffee table and whatnot. You can see that there's like just like different papers, like mostly like local news and other like things like sitting there, just general forms of like like reading entertainment that have been like your coffee table type books.
Is the only entrance out to the foyer?
So there's that's the main one, but then you can see immediately to your left is like almost like kind of like as you're walking along where like this other side of the staircase would be, right? So like not in the foyer, but the other side of the staircase, like towards the living room. There's like the bookshelves kind of like create like a half wall there where like it just kind of leads up to like a closed door that goes that looks like it might lead to that hallway that's beyond the staircase.
Hendrik would like to maybe make his way to the dining room.
Okay.
See if he can see another way. He's trying to see what's on the on the like rear of the house. Maybe a kitchen, maybe possibly a stairwell to like a basement, if there's anything like that here.
Yeah, I'll have you walk into the dining room. I'm just going to quickly address Quinn. I don't want to do too much without the other person moving around. So,
keep going.
Quinn, you're upstairs. So as you kind of enter up into the landing, first thing you notice as soon as you walk to the top of the stairs, like there's a suit of armor, like of like really fancy armor, with like a full helm with like sort of like a purple, one of those like purple like feathered type like decorations that come out of the top of the helmet. And
Plume.
it's on. Yeah, thank you. Like a plume.
I know.
Exactly.
I couldn't think of it either. It just came to me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Sometimes words
Quinn
just fail
knew.
me. And it's sort of like up on like a platform, and it's like it's just like it's on display. And it's there's two like little lanterns surrounding it. There's some. You can see that the actual landing up here is rather large on both sides, where there's some seating up here as well. There appears to be a fireplace on your on the side that you've come up, and what appears to be a door that goes off to both a room, and then towards the front of the house there is also another door that seems to go off to another part of the upstairs. But the fireplace, you can actually see when you look at the fireplace that it appears to be also connected to whatever room is on the other side of it. So it's a two-sided fireplace, or two-way fireplace.
So is it so that like if I could crawl through the fireplace into the other room, or is it like sideways where they're like just connected?
I mean, it would be a little tight, but you can see through it in that, the fireplace is accessible from both sides. The side here on the landing as well as in the bedroom.
I take a peek through the flue first.
Yeah. I mean, taking a look through, there is no fire currently lit in here, but it appears to be like a seating area. If you look through, there's a couple like a couch, a chair, another end table, a desk, and some like papers on the desk, and that's about all you can see. And there's like another table. It looks like it has like a mirror on it, like a vanity of some kind with like a couple plants just like hanging on the top of the vanity itself.
Okay,
that's about all you can see through from this side.
I make my way toward the door toward the front.
To the front of the house? Okay, sure. It's closed.
Is it locked?
Is it locked? No.
So I just okay. Is it like a doorknob door or is it like a latch?
It is just it's not a doorknob. It's the latch. It's like a push-pull type thing.
Okay. Do I have to pull or do I push? It's all stealth questions.
You can see the hinges.
Oh God! Now you're making me realize how doors work. Okay, so you pull.
I'm giving all the information you need.
But I had to look at my door to know what side my hinges
look
were
at your own door.
Yeah, because I don't know how doors work.
Oh, that's great.
Okay,
I love that
so
for you.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. I'm thinking about it technically in my head now. I am going to gently open the door. Just
Roll
a crack.
A sleight of hand check.
Oh, dear God. Oh, I say that now. I'm going to roll a D1. Okay. Not great, but a 22.
22 is fine. Yeah, you open it nice and silently, and you see it actually opens up into a covered balcony.
Okay.
That ends pretty quickly if you look to your left, but continues on to your right, like towards, like along the front of the house.
Okay.
And if you look like down, like you can see like there's like the part of the front of the roof of the house kind of like pitches down as you look past the balcony. So it's like, it's a little bit set into like the second story of the house.
And these are the only two doors on the second level?
Well, on this side, there's another door to your like on the other side of like the fireplace there, like next to the fireplace,
right.
Closer to the as you're moving toward the back of the house.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and gently close that door and go back toward the suit of armor and check the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like the suit of armor is in the center, right? Like looking over that curved like balcony, right, directly in the center of the two sides. Directly to your left. So like if you're coming up from the stairs, if you looked immediately left, you have a door and then the fireplace. So that's
right.
That's
I don't want to go in
that
there.
You would assume goes. You don't want to go there. So you're going back to like the center of the landing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Real quick, because I love cutting cameras and jumping around. 0, Pregnart.
Quack.
You all have been standing here now for a little bit. Hedrick's body is still doing the very slight wave, and Pregnart.
Yeah, perfectly healthy, perfectly normal.
When we last
good.
left you, Pregnart was giving Hedrick's body double a foot massage, and 0 was standing there menacingly.
I'm just imagining the scene. It's a mess.
Yeah, I am too. It's pretty beautiful. You guys are underneath like a tree in this nice, beautiful park. People are here walking their dogs. A bunch of dogs start barking at you when they see you, Pregnart, doing the weird things you're doing and making the weird sounds you're making, and people just kind of pull their animals like closer to them on their leashes and like just kind of like give you guys a very strange look, and like all they see is Hedrick waving, right? So they just kind of like look kind of like puzzled and just kind of give a slight wave back and then just kind of keep going along their way. Anything else happening here? I just wanted to again just cut the camera back to just show what the other side of the party is doing here.
I've completed my foot massage and I'm combing Hedrick's hair and calling him a pretty man. And just making sure his ego is taken care of as well, and inserting enough quacks.
I say, quack, quack. You look, your hair is so nice, so shiny, so smooth, silky. Oh, we take good care of your hair. Oh, and your mustache. Oh, let me apply some oil. Quack, quack, bingo dora.
0 remains, statuesque and menacing.
Fantastic, great. Just again, really wanted that quick camera cut again, just to see what was happening there, because obviously y'all aren't involved in the espionage part of this, so want to try to keep having some fun there. Can't say this is going to work for you the whole time. Hopefully, the area you're in will kind of help disguise the ridiculousness of what is actually happening. We're going to cut the camera back to Boris and Jarrell, actually. So, obviously you're now out front of Ebenezer's house, presumably trying to moving away from it. What are you doing now? Like you did your part. You got the boys in, presumably, right? You can only hope. You didn't see them. But what's your next step here? Are you going to continue going around trying to sell cookies, or are you going to just kind of wrap it up? Like, what's your next move?
Jarrell kind of look at Boris and say, well, I mean, what else is there for us to do? Do you want to sell more cookies? Do you want to keep them?
Boris looks deep in thought.
Sell cookies, eat cookies, sell cookies, eat cookies.
Money, cookies, money, cookies, money, cookies. She almost looks like she's in pain trying to make a decision right now. And kind of like slowly is just like, we should probably actually help with the investigation in some way instead of making money or eating cookies. And she looks really upset as she's saying this.
I don't know what more we can do to help. That woman clearly knows who we are now. And Daryl's kind of like leading her more toward the street as we're having this conversation. Kind of like looking back at the house every once in a while. Except we're not having it right on their porch.
Yeah, okay. As we're approaching the street, Boris is pulling 15 boxes of cookies out of her armor pocket inside of her bag. And just like walking back up to house 2 because it's been a few minutes now. Just delivering the 15 boxes of requested cookies so she can pocket some change.
Right.
Okay, so sorry, you said you are going to continue to go door to door?
No, she's giving
No.
the 15 boxes to house 2.
Oh, you're just going to go and just say, hey, I got your...
I'm delivering those cookies. Yeah.
Okay,
as
perfect.
Requested.
I will say that the second you arrive, Cheryl begins to again chat up a storm with you, and you are now kind of stuck sitting there talking to her for a bit, which is where we will cut our camera over to Hedrick. Hedrick, so you're still in the sort of common area of this mansion.
I thought I had kind of sidled my way out to the dining room.
Sorry. Yes, right. You are in the dining room right now.
Yeah.
The table is currently, it looks like it's set in a way where it's like almost like a default setting. Like it doesn't look like they're like preparing for a meal at this time, but like all the place settings and all the things are there. And there appears to be just like a small centerpiece, just like like a candelabra in the center of the table. There is a fireplace here, which if you were to actually look, there's one that seems to be connected here into the dining room, and then again it's a two-way one where you can see into the other side and easily see that there's a kitchen on the other side of this fireplace.
Is there another door?
There are two doors, yes, I guess, like if we're just gonna do like north, south, east, west, right? Like you entered in from the, like you walked west to get in here. If you look north, there's the two doors where the fireplace is.
Okay.
But if you and then to the like left of the room, again, if the fireplace is like you're looking straight, to your left it opens up into what appears to be like a sunroom of sorts, like bigger windows, and this leads out to what you can see as the potentially like that outdoor garden, like that botanical garden out there. That's where that leads off to.
Is there a fire lit in that fireplace towards the kitchen?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I would assume there would be. He was more looking just to see if there was like any subterranean aspect to this thing. Now at this point, he
Not that you
sees
can tell in here.
there's a room past the common area, but the lady is sitting in there. About how old is this lady?
She appears to be middle-aged. I'd say probably maybe late 40s, early 50s. Hard to really tell, but
And do I smell anything cooking?
not at this time.
Yeah, his thing. I'm trying to visualize the layout. He's trying to get into the kitchen to see if anybody's there. There might even be some, I would say, signifying factors as to like how many residents there are, how many people live in this house. Like, is that his daughter? Ebenezer's like a really old guy, even 160 years ago, right?
I mean, he just has that like real old guy look to him, but yeah.
He's human.
He looks way too old for this lady in the house right now.
Maybe that, or just I mean, you don't know.
It's fantasy world. I don't know how people age. They all look. She looks human though, right?
I don't know. Some people also start going are completely gray by the time they're like 45. So you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, maybe a stressed out, living with the most powerful wizard in the house. He's gonna look for something important, and he thinks it might be upstairs. So he'll make his way back to the foyer, at least, just trying to get a scan to see what the first floor was like. But he's not gonna open up that door right in front of her eyes, in the common area.
Well,
so
if you're in the foyer, don't forget there are like behind the staircases. There are hallways that go left and right.
okay, yeah, I'll make my way to that intersection, and I would turn left. Back towards the
towards
dining room
the
side.
kitchen. Yeah, so you can see that there's a small hallway there, and there's a door to the left, which would, based on just generally your assumption, would lead into the dining room, and then there's a door to the right, which would presumably lead into the kitchen. And then there's a wall where there's like a candelabra sitting there, and that's behind that would be the fireplace,
Okay,
but you can't see it from this side.
sure. Yeah, can I pop my head in the kitchen?
The kitchen door is unlocked.
Awesome.
How are you opening the door, like
Yeah,
quietly, or
yeah.
like how
I'm
are
gonna-
you approaching this?
I'm gonna try
'Cause we're
to
gonna switch
just
to Quinn too.
open the doors softly and quietly.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Ooh. 3 plus 8 is 11, but
good.
I'm going to use something I have not used yet. This is
Okay.
called Fool's Luck. At 14th level, you can expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration after you fail an ability check, fail a saving throw, or miss with an attack roll. You have not told me whether I succeeded or failed. I would imagine
I have
since
not.
It's unlocked. I can get in the door, but it might be a little bit loud if it's only 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's definitely not the quietest you'll have ever opened a door. So this may be an appropriate time to use it if you really want a better result, to not draw attention to yourself.
But I am like down a hallway and 2 rooms
Yes.
away from that lady.
From that lady.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anyone else. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Okay, use it.
D12. Ooh, only 3, so that's a total of 14.
14's okay. I mean, you open the door, you catch it just as you can see, like, it might be a little squeaky because, and also like as you're starting to crack it open, you can see that there's actually 2 people in this kitchen prepping vegetables.
Okay. I will give you the extra bit of that fool's luck. I know you're gonna love this.
Mhm.
Okay. If using this ability grants you a success on the attack, saving throw, or ability check, note the number you rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die, which is a 3.
Which is a 3.
The DM can then apply that result as a penalty to an attack or check that you make, and you cannot use this ability again until you suffer this drawback.
Duly noted. Thank you, Edric.
When the DM invokes this penalty, describe an embarrassing gaffe or mistake you make as part of the affected die roll.
Yes. Oh, I remember reading this ability. I fucking love it, and I want to definitely try to use it if I
Well,
can later. Okay, so I'm gonna.
I have a homebrewed random table D20
of gaffs. Perfect.
of gaffs. Some of them are appropriate, but some of them may not be for whatever.
I will let you know when it's time to roll on that table.
Thank you very much.
But that's what you see before you enter. Like, you crack it open just enough to see that there's actually people actively working in here.
Are there backs to me?
Currently, yes. You can see that there's a table, sort of like arranged in like an L shape in here. There are a bunch of vegetables aligned in here, a couple of loaves of bread, and what appear to be some fish that have not been descaled or cleaned yet.
As far as layout, do I see any other doors or anything indicating like a cellar?
There are windows that look out to the outside. The curtains are drawn. There is a door next to those windows, kind of directly across from where you're opening this door. And off to the left there is what appears to be a set of double doors, potentially that may enter like it could be a storeroom, it could be like a pantry. You're not really entirely sure. The doors are closed.
Okay.
And there's like, a couple of things like barrels, sacks, like a water trough, like just different things in here, and like cooking implements and whatnot, like a big pot for cooking like soups and stews and whatnot, some other utensils and cookware, kind of just laying about as well.
Okay. All right. About what he expected, just checking the layouts here. At least he can see there are other people in the house. So he's going to not enter the room. He's just going to slowly try to close that door and make his way back out to the foyer.
Okay. You were back in the foyer. Quinn, you're on the landing on the second level. You were kind of realigned yourself to the, like you're in the middle here. If you look onto the other side that you didn't go up, there's a set of double doors directly next to the other side of the stairs, and then there's also a small hallway that continues along this like wall where like the suit of armor is, as you're like looking up, and goes off to the right, and you can see that there is a single door on the left, and then there appears to be a passage on the right as well, but you can't really tell what's in there from where you're looking.
Where are the hinges on the double doors? Can I see them?
They would open. It looks like they would open inward, so there are no hinges visible.
I am going to gently push on the left door of the double doors.
Yeah, it opens freely.
Okay, I walk inside.
This appears to be another type of common area. There is what appears to be a handcrafted bar built in here straight ahead of you as you open the door. There are a couple barrels in here as well, some casks, and like a nice wine rack behind the bar. There are tables set up in here. There's even actually an upright piano at the complete far end of the room, like all the way towards the front of the house where you can see some of the windows are. Because this room literally spans almost the entire like length of like the right side of the house, right, aside from some of the area to the north here. But yeah, just different seating areas. There's a bar. There's like again a piano, and and a fireplace as well.
Okay. Quinn reminds himself that there is still the special power water in his flask, so he's not going to take any of the wine. And he's going to gently exit the room and then go down the hallway toward the other door.
Make me a perception check as you go down the hallway, please.
Uh-oh. 12.
Okay. Not really. I mean, like you notice that there's actually on your left there are some paintings on the wall. You can see that these appear to be like family portraits, where it looks like it's Ebenezer, the woman you saw downstairs, and a young boy. And they're like in different poses. Like there's like one larger painting in the center that has them all like kind of posing very seriously. And then there's a picture to the left and right that are actually just paintings of the woman and then one of the kid. There's only the one painting in the center that actually features Ebenezer.
Okay.
And those are on the wall right before you get to the door on the left. You also notice now on your right, there actually appears to be a smaller staircase that goes downstairs from here.
Down the hallway. Okay.
On your right, if you're walking down the hallway.
So there's the staircase on my right. There's a door on my left. Right. Okay. I am going to open the door.
The door is locked.
I'm not going to open the door. I'm going to actively investigate to see if there's any any trigger or key or anything like that I can find like around the pictures.
Sure, make me an investigation check.
18.
No hidden triggers, but you can tell that the painting in the center is slightly like off from being flush with the wall. Maybe like it's like something is like setting it off from the wall slightly.
I immediately, with my OCD, fix it.
You notice that if you try to fix it or push it against the wall, it does kind of pull it, like kind of set itself back out from it again. Almost as if there's something behind it that's pushing it back forward.
Okay, I'm going to take the picture off the wall.
Make me a sleight of hand check, please. I'm fishing here, because you guys are good at what you do.
A 16.
A 16? That's fine. You're removing a painting from a wall. I'm really just fishing for a 1 where you fumble with it, break it, and cause a bunch of sound. Yeah, behind the wall, there appears to be a small safe. Or behind the painting, there appears to be a small safe. With just like, combination knob, nothing, and just like a lever.
So, are there numbers or any sort of like
numbers?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Because I don't think I can do. What would I need to be able to potentially break into the safe?
Something to be able to listen in, maybe to where the pins are catching.
So I would have to have like really good perception.
That or like some sort and like something to sort of amplify what you're hearing internally.
Sure. Right.
A thieves' toolkit, something like that.
Right. Because I do have thieves' tools. I am not.
Yeah, which thieves? I don't think thieves' tools include like specific safe cracking equipment, right? They have like the little mirror on a stick and like lock picks.
Right. So I'm going to keep that in the back of my head. I'm going to put the picture back on the wall.
Arrange it all nice.
Try to fix it as best as I can. I am then going to potentially try to pick the lock of the door.
Make me a thieves' tools check with dexterity, please.
And no proficiency. Okay, 18.
Yeah, it unlocks the door.
Okay. And I proceed in.
Okay, opening the door, you see in front of you there is a desk with a chair behind it and some scrolls and a piece of paper on a stack of papers on top of the desk itself. There's another fireplace in the corner of the room. There's a chair, a bookshelf that kind of comes out about halfway and splits the room, but it does continue on behind the bookshelf and around it. And you can hear in here, just because there's a door beyond the bookshelf that seems to lead into another room. You can hear the sounds of like somebody talking behind that door. You can hear them saying stuff just like, "You're not stupid. You know what you're doing. You are a good wizard."
Okay.
It's like someone's like talking to themselves, like giving themselves a pep talk almost, but they seem distraught.
Sure. Before I potentially barge into that situation, can I look for anything in the room that might give me a clue to the safe?
I mean, there's a lot of places to potentially.
Yeah,
look
I
in
mean, like,
here.
so there's the desk, right? That seems to be
There is the desk right ahead
the
of
more
you,
obvious
yes.
choice. So can I investigate the desk?
Sure,
and
make me an
the
investigation
papers
check,
on
and
it?
then we're gonna bounce around again before
That is a nat
we're
20.
done here. A nat 20.
I don't know if I wanted to waste it on that, but
I will tell you everything you see. There are two tied off scrolls at the top of the desk, so you can't really tell like what they are without like
Open them.
undoing the
Mhm.
yeah, because they are tied shut and then wax stamped. There are a couple, like again, a stack of papers on here, and these papers all seem to be what appear to be like homework, like they're assignments, school assignments. Different things like some of them are take-home tests. You can see like with like grades on them and everything like that already too. Like just different things like asking questions about different disciplines of magic and whatnot. Like, and it looks like it has some of the markings of the tower, right? The academy there. There are 3 drawers in this desk. The top 2 are free to open and whatnot. The bottom one is larger and is locked. The top 2 drawers have, writing implements, blank papers, things like that in the top. And then like the second drawer has just like, some different like notes and other things. There's even, and it appears to be a small leather journal that is also locked. It has like a little like, like in like the 90s, right? Like we had those little like, like locking journals with like the little keyhole and the clasp. Yeah.
Yeah, that your sibling would just break open. Okay, so I'm going to, before we move over, I'm going to pocket the journal.
You take the journal.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do is Hedrick and then go back to everybody else, because I just want to get a little bit more in the house, because I feel like you guys are getting some good information here, and I don't want to necessarily stop this gravy train for y'all just yet. So Hedrick, you were looking into the kitchen, right? Is that where we kind of left you? Still, you were like exploring or trying. You were kind of not exploring, but just like getting a lay of the land from there. Are you moving on from there? Are you trying to enter the kitchen? What's your play?
Were they talking to each other or just simply cooking?
I mean, in that brief period, they weren't necessarily having a conversation, but I mean, the conversation is pretty minimal. It's mostly like, hey, can you pass me that knife, or can you hand me that, that leek or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like prep cooks.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the household talk. Did you hear about the news sort of thing?
Not so far.
Okay.
They are just focused on doing their jobs.
Well, Hedrick knows time is of the essence, so he's going to back away from the kitchen.
Okay.
And I guess across from this intersection, is that where the bathroom is?
As you go back out from the hallway and into the foyer, to your left, it kind of like rounds out. There's a small room off to the side that would be where the public, like the half bath is. Probably the
I'm
ones
just
that
not
they have for
sure
guests.
if I hear anything. If I hear anything like maybe through the ventilation, or
I mean, it took Boris some focusing to really be
okay.
able to hear, and she was in the room, like in the actual like restroom when she was actually able to make it out even a little bit.
Well, Hedrick would move upstairs then, and he would probably be trying to see signs of where Quinn is at this point.
You can see the center painting is slightly off center
Yeah.
in the hallway to your right as you go up.
Is the door to the study left open?
Yeah, Quinn, what did you do at the door after you entered the in that room that you're in?
I have not thought to shut it yet, so it would be
So it would be open.
cracked open. Yeah.
It would be
Okay.
open.
So Hedrick will then softly push that door open, seeing, I'm sure, a lot of interesting things inside.
Quinn, you notice the door to the room opens, but there's nobody there while it opens.
But I
Maybe
know
giving
who
you
it is.
But you know who it is.
I know who it is.
Hedrick's
Stay out of my
gonna
way.
Try to shuffle his boot on the floor just a little bit, like try to make some little sound to see if that's
Just to
kind of
indicate to Quinn.
like, are you in here? Kind of like, where are you?
Yeah, you could just whisper, right?
Yeah, I guess. He could.
But you also now hear the same things, Hedrick, right? You can hear like someone like talking to themselves the next room over.
Do I recognize the voice?
No. I mean, it sounds like
Is it
a male
male
voice. They sound like, based on the occasional crack in their voice, they sound like they must be like younger, but not like toddler or preteen, but more like maybe like a teenager, someone going through puberty.
Yeah. His bedroom door is connected to the study.
Yeah, it appears that there is like so there's a door there, and then this appears to be like a private study.
I guess he would do more investigation in this room to see if there was anything else.
Okay, you can
of
as
interest.
you're investigating, you can see some like the top two drawers of this desk opening and closing. You see a journal float out of the second drawer and then suddenly become invisible.
Man, I knew you were in here. What do we got to do now? What do you think?
Be quiet for one.
Okay.
Quinn moves closer to the door now that he's kind of like investigated the desk as much as he wanted to. He kind of leans against the door to kind of listen more intently.
Okay. You can hear the kid again, like saying stuff like, like, doesn't matter what anybody else says. Like, I know I can do this. Like my dad is the most powerful wizard that ever lived. Of course I could follow in his footsteps. I could be just like him. I want to be just like him. Just like here, like, just like almost like someone's like pacing in there. You can hear like heavy footsteps, like of pacing and this and that. And then eventually you just hear like, no, fuck this. Like I'm going back. Like they can't keep me away. Like they will not stop me from doing this, from learning what I need to learn. Like I have just as every right to be in that building as anyone else. And you hear footsteps start making their way now towards the door.
Yeah, so I move out of the way of the door.
Yeah, the door aggressively opens. You can see that it's like a teenage boy. Scruffy hair, like brownish hair. He's got like patchy facial hair. It's not all fully grown in. Like it's just kind of coming in like sections right now. And he's got like these like crooked like glasses on that you can definitely see have been taped multiple times and in multiple places. He's wearing student's robes still, and you can see that he looks, perfectly normal, but you can tell that like his he must have like recently recovered from something, because you can see his face, like you can almost see like the leftovers of almost like a burn, or like some sort of scarring, but it seems to be like almost like it's fading already. So you're not sure if it's an older injury or something else affected that, but you can tell that it's just his face is slightly off about it. And you see him immediately run over to the desk, and he pulls a key out of his pocket, and he opens the third drawer, and he pulls out a bunch of these large and very thin sheets of paper, and he grabs them all up, and he starts stuffing them into like a bag of his, and he slings it over his shoulder and just storms out of the room. And you can hear from downstairs the woman start talking like, honey, what are you doing? No, you have to stay home. We talked about this. Okay, just at least until this blows over and your father can deal with everybody at the school and get you back there in an honorable way. Okay, honey, people got hurt. And you can hear the kid go, I don't care, Mom. Okay, it was an accident, and I know what I'm doing. Okay, if they would have stopped breathing over my neck the whole time I'm standing there just trying to prep the food, this wouldn't have happened. Okay, it's not my fault.
Yeah, we're following him.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, honey, I can't. Look, your father said you can't leave the house. It's for your own safety. There's a lot of people who are upset with you right now, and you know that, okay? Whether or not it's your fault, honey, I believe you. I believe that you didn't do this on purpose. Why would you do this on purpose, right? But there are people out there who aren't as reasonable as us, your family, okay? We will protect you. You need to stay home and keep your head down. All right, I know you're upset. I know you're eager to learn. I know you just want to be there, okay? You've been trying your best, hon. And I know you've had your struggles this year and in the past couple of years with school and with just figuring out your place there, all right, hon? But you just, please, for me, for your father, and for yourself, just take a second to breathe. And I promise, when he gets home, your father and I we'll all, the three of us, will sit down and we'll figure this out together, okay? And he just you can see him just standing there dejected looking, and you can see he's still fuming, but he's like, fine, I'll wait for Dad to get home. But you can't I can't just sit here, Mom. I can't just sit here all day. All right, because the longer I sit here, the more I see their faces, the more I see my failures looking back at me, and I just want to do something. I want to make this right. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I want to just say thank you all for listening. We really appreciate you coming along with us on this journey. And if you like us, and if you hate these cliffhangers and want to express your frustrations about it, we encourage you to find us on the internet. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Hapless Heroes. We're on Facebook and Reddit. Just look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. Those places will also point you to the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server, where you can meet, interact with us, talk about episodes. We have everything spoiler tagged. We can talk about things D&D, things not D&D, whatever it is. We've built a wonderful community there. There's people chatting about all different sorts of things in there all day, and we'd encourage you to be a part of it and join that conversation. It's really a great time. Now, if you really like us, you can leave us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. Really helps us gain more visibility, and we also reading your kind words truly puts the wind in our sails. You can also email us at haplessheroes@gmail.com, or on our Discord server, there is a 5-star channel where if you say some nice things about us, and just like in any other review, we'll say some nice things right back to you. Just like our one of our Discord listeners here, Pain in Maine, who says that I have to say I listen to a few other not to be named D&D podcasts, but only as I am up to date with this one yet. This is the only one I can recommend to people. Sorry, I stumbled over some words there, but they say, my son is in the middle of the Frankie Wilde comeback story, and my wife has even started listening and just met Mr. Black. As I get to re-listen and laugh at all the early puns and jokes with her, I know I will enjoy all the past episodes and even be reminded of forgotten pieces of information that shaped where you are now. I also agree with Thessie that the chemistry here in Hapless Heroes is so much better. The fact that you have only one story, but also many side adventures with other fun and exciting characters keeps it fresh. Keep up the great work. 5 stars. Thanks, Pen and Main.
Yeah.
You are a 5-star human too.
5 stars.
Now, if you really, really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a bunch of rewards on there. You know, we encourage you to take a look, see if any of those levels are fit for your budget. But honestly, all the money that we get through those donations goes right back into the show, helps fund equipment. I mean, I recently had to replace my laptop again, because that's just a great time. And, you know, we have hosting costs. We had to, you know, buy some new microphones for Mike and Dave. And, you know, we'll be using that to replace other equipment in the future too, as needs must. But we just want to have to say, like, all of you out there who have donated to us in the past, who continue to donate to us now, you've really helped keep the lights on, seriously, and we are eternally grateful for all that support. We promise we'll keep putting it, you know, to good use and where it belongs.
And if you like us, right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, adopt a llama and teach it to cook lasagna. And that's it.
Have you ever seen a llama cooking lasagna down by the bay where the watermelon grows? I used to love that song as a kid.
Nice, simple, to the
is
point.
That from that song?
No, not at all, but it sounded like it was.
Yeah, I love that for us. Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty simple. I feel like that's rather doable. Like, do it, take a video.
Llamas are smarter than people give them credit for. Right?
I mean, seriously.
I
Right?
thought you were
I
going to
mean,
say
it's
llamas are smarter than people.
I know that's good.
Give them credit for it.
Yeah,
Some people.
that too.
And it's important
As a
where you put your
llama-
period.
Has a llama ever invented an atomic bomb and became the destroyer of worlds?
No, but some llamas definitely choose violence, and we can, and that's just facts.
Is that llama became death?
Oh boy. Anyways, well,
J. Robert Lammenheimer.
Nope. We're gonna walk our way right out of this one and into the outro for this show, and I'm gonna start the opposite way of the way we came in, with John as Lord Jarrell the Light,
Until next time.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer,
This kid's got more issues than me.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher,
Oh yeah, Cheryl, that's real interesting.
Zach as Pregnart,
All done. Your armpit hair is braided.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind,
I do love a good teen drama.
and Dave as Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Move along, people. Mr. Rick's skincare routine is not to be scrutinized.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. We will see you next time as the drama continues to unfold. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.